There is a difference between federal taxes withheld and tax expenses to a business, and I want to talk about the differences between those two. It's confusing, particularly if you have to make journal entries. So let's assume that Mary is an employee and her gross income before anything is deducted, is $3,000 for a particular pay period. Let's also assume that 20% is withheld for federal taxes or federal income taxes, which means $600. So $600 is withheld by the employer. The employer then forwards that $600 along with reporting to IRS. So that is federal tax withholding. You can also have FICA tax withholding, FICA, which refers to the plan that funds Medicare and Social Security. And the rates for both employers and employees is currently 7.65%. So in Mary's case, we're going to withhold that rate times her $3,000 gross income, which is $229.50. That's what we're going to withhold. We're going to withhold it, and as a company, we are then going to send that $229.50 plus reporting to Social Security Administration. However, there is an employer portion of it also, the same 7.65%, the same dollar amount. That is a business expense. Now note the difference. The employer portion is a business expense. The employee portion is simply something we withhold and send in. There is not an expense there. Not an expense there. We're just withholding it and sending it in. So it's an important distinction we make, and the reason is because that is the employee's share of the expense that we withhold and send in. The employer share of the expense is a business expense. So important to know that difference. Retirement plan contributions, many of us have them. Both workers and employers can make a contribution. If the worker wants $100 withheld for their share, their part of the contribution, we withhold that from payroll. We then send that in to the third party that manages the retirement plan. However, if the employer makes a contribution, that is an expense for the employer, and we're just going to make a transaction directly with the plan sponsor. We're going to send them the money. We're going to recognize a business expense debit. We send out cash credit. It's an expense to the employer that is different from the employee's share of this. So I just want to make a distinction between tax withholdings for employees and business expenses, which relate to contributions made and payments made by employers. There's a difference.